Hello everybody, my name is Almighty, and this is year 1 of my Clangen dog pack. This video is very much a result of my love for warriors, and my admiration for creators like Forest Creature, Nyoko, and especially Sunrise Kitties. Her dog pack video really motivated me to try and make my own, so here we are. Links to all the previously mentioned creators' pages, as well as the Clangen website, will be in the description. The art and characters you are going to see here are all created by me using Procreate. Many of the characters come directly from my head, and after designing them are coded into Clangen. The rest are inspired by cats who join the clan in-game, and then are turned into dogs afterwards. The pack makes its home in the vast grassy expanses of the Canadian foothills and parkland. Their territory stretches from the tumbling hills at the base of mountains to the fence lines of cattle farms and homes. Many of the dogs who call the pack home are runaways seeking new adventures. Others find refuge in the pack after becoming lost or being dumped in the unfamiliar wilderness. Together, the dogs decided on a camp in a small clearing, dug out near the edge of a river gully. Their diet consists of mainly rabbits and rodents, hunting the native vole, mice, prairie dogs, and ground squirrels. Occasionally, a few skilled hunters will work together to take down a deer. The pack was founded by Crow, a young Kelpie dog. Crow used to live on a farm with his mother and siblings, herding livestock for their owner. Even though he was bred for the job, Crow found herding boring and frustrating, always longing to wander the fields looking for new things instead. Crow soon decided to leave his farm life behind and founded the pack. Crow's first year as leader of the pack was a rough one. Early in the year, Crow fought a coyote who injured his tail badly. Crow had to spend months with the healers and became depressed. On top of that, he was under the impression that his packmates did not trust him because of his young age. His years started to turn around when the bull terrier Ghost joined. Ghost owner passed away this year, and the family member she had been entrusted to did not want the responsibility of a dog. Instead of bringing Ghost to a shelter or trying to rehome her, the person dumped Ghost in the prairie near the pack. She soon found her way to the pack and quickly found a friend in Crow. She pushed others away from him, snapping at dogs who criticized him, alienating members of the pack. Crow's deputy Wink soon confronted him about the issue, saying that his new friend was being harmful to the pack, but Crow, smitten and blinded by the affection he was receiving from Ghost, dismissed Wink's concerns. It was only when Ghost was struck by a car on the nearby Thunder Path, resulting in her passing away, that Crow realized just how much his relationship with his packmates had been harmed. Without Ghost to compliment and assure him, he was isolated within his own pack. Crow was still attempting to repair these bonds, whilst also grieving the loss of Ghost. Wink is the second in command around the pack, organizing the tasks, roles, and patrols of the other dogs. She's been a street mutt her entire life, avoiding contact with humans for most of it. Her ancestors have been strays for so long that her breed is no longer really discernible. Ford, the dog beside her, has lived with her throughout most of their life. Together they scrounged for scraps, slept in cold, wet alleyways, and eventually joined the pack. Ford has run into trouble with people before, and after his last incident where he was hurt by a man, Wink and him decided they needed to find a better, safer place to live. Wink's aversion to people made this hard, until they met a young dog named Crow who invited them to join his journey to start a pack. During this year, Ford and Wink's friendship has been tested. Ford asked out Wink not once but twice this year. Both times Wink rejected his offer, upset at the idea. Because of this, their stories were fairly independent from each other this year. Early in the year, Wink watched another dog in the pack, Lucy, be taken by a human, who was trying to rescue the runaway farm dog. Wink followed Lucy's scent, finding the home where Lucy was being held overnight. Wink's expertise in escaping from people due to her stray background allowed her to help Lucy. Together they ran away from the farm, making it back to camp the next morning. Since that night, Wink and Lucy have been very good friends, going on patrols together and confiding in each other. Ford was mostly concerned about making friendships and worrying about mates this year. He asked out Lucy and Wink, who both rejected his offer, seemingly appalled. This very much hurt Ford's confidence and mood. He was assigned to mentor one of Lucy's pups, Fonty. He took out his frustration and disappointment of their mother's rejection out on them, and was a terrible mentor. His apprentice graduated early, but their values were affected, becoming much more aggressive. Wink has since banned Ford from mentoring pups. Hopefully, Ford improves his ways the next year. Next to introduce are the healers of the pack. Miracle had a rough start on life. Born in a backyard breeding operation, she is the result of a double merle breeding. When two merle parents are bred together, they have a 25% chance of producing a double merle. Double merles have high chances of being blind, deaf, or both, because the merle gene causes them to lack so much pigment. Miracle is one of such dogs. Because of this, she is fully deaf and lacks vision in her right eye. Miracle was dumped by her breeder because they did not want to be held accountable to a disabled puppy. She survived for a while with a friend, but one day at night she was struck by a car. She was discovered unconscious by Crow and Lucy, who brought her to a city dog known for her healing ability. The dog helped her to recover and gave her the name Miracle, which Miracle very much liked and decided to keep. The healer's pupil, Basil, became enchanted with the idea of the pack and soon asked the trio if he too could come. Basil was a pedigree-bred Abyssinian hound, but his anxiety was far too bad for him to compete well. Feeling like a burden and useless to his owner, he ran off, but soon got lost and was found by the healing dog Sachet, whose owner was a holistic doctor. Soon Basil learned that he was skilled in healing, knowing how to treat colds, broken bones, and scrapes. When the founding members of the pack came to his healer's home, he was inspired and bid farewell to his mentor, thanking her for the lessons and care. Miracle and Basil have since been working together to treat and care for the pack. They have a very good relationship, but other than each other, they are loners within their own home. Miracle's gruff nature and lack of interest in attempting to understand others makes her hard to befriend. She finds communication hard with her disabilities, and rather than be frustrated with it, Miracle simply doesn't try. The only dog she really cares to communicate with is Basil, whose anxiety makes it easy. He's constantly so worried that he emits a slight smell of it, easy for Miracle to decode. Recently, Basil's anxiety has gotten so bad that he struggles to talk with other dogs or even exit his den without the company of Miracle. Together, the dogs collect herbs and treat patients together and are almost inseparable. Hopefully in the next year, we will see these two start to branch out and become loved members of the pack. Starting on the warriors, we have Paulo and Hal. Paulo joined the clan after becoming bored of his life as a pet. He didn't really mean to run away, but after going on an adventure through his neighborhood, he became lost and simply couldn't make his way back home. He then wandered out of the city, eventually finding a traveling band of dogs who told him they were looking for a home to start their pack. Paulo enthusiastically joined along, becoming good friends with one of the two puppies in the pack. Paulo was only a year and a half, and Hal, a son of Lucy's, was half a year. Together they played and caused trouble. Hal and Paulo became best friends, gallivanting around. It seemed common sense, Crow thought, to assign Paulo as Hal's mentor. The boys continued to have fun, but the pairing was detrimental to Hal's learning because Paulo did not want to mentor his friend. Instead, they played together, and Hal graduated playful and impulsive. Hal and Paulo stayed good friends, even as Paulo found 3 abandoned corgi puppies on the riverbank in the pack's territory. Hal is helping Paulo raise these 3 puppies now, 2 girls, Heidi and Lily, and a boy, Benny. Hal is overall a very friendly dog, befriending almost any dog in the clan, and he adores his family, Fonty and Lucy, constantly giving them gifts. I am excited to see these two continue to grow and see where their friendship leads. Next up is Hal's little mate Fonty. Fonty was born as Fontina and is our first trans character. They now go by any pronouns but lean towards more masculine ones. He's a Kuvas Anatolian mix and was born on a farm with Hal to Lucy. He was bred to become a reliable livestock guardian dog, but for reasons unknown to Fonty, Lucy fled with him and his brother. They soon met Crow and eventually helped found the pack. As you've already heard, Fonty's mentor Ford was not kind to him, and Fonty became a dog with a very short fuse. They are still a very kind dog, but when pushed, snap quickly. Fonty is still finding his footing as a young dog. The month after Fonty graduated, they attempted to take on a hawk by themselves, and were injured in the process. They spent the first months of their warriorship in the medicine den. Fonty's mother also became pregnant again, but would not tell anyone who the father was. Fonty was in a very confusing part of his life when Solana joined. Solana is an American Akita who joined the pack after a partner turned controlling and she needed a place to hide. Solana first met her partner, a wolf, on a trip with her family to the mountains. While her family was off skiing, she would sneak out of their winter cabin and explore the woods with the wolf. For the first time in her life, she finally felt alive, opposed to her normal life full of children pulling at her ears and days sitting on the couch gazing out the window. The end of the week, before her family left the mountains to return to the city, the wolf convinced her to run away with him. For a while, Solana's life was blissful, an exciting flash of gallivanting through the forest and hunting prey. But as the days went on, the wolf became more and more possessive, lashing out at Solana if she ever voiced thoughts of doubt or of missing her family. Eventually, one night the wolf became so angry that he attacked Solana and badly injured her leg. She was scared and knew she had to flee. That night, Solana ran from the wolf as fast as she could with her injured leg. During her flight, she watched as a car pulled off the road and threw 2 dogs into a field before speeding off. Solana decided to walk with the dogs named Yao Yao and Zelda. The dogs were small and had never been alone before. They would quickly be picked off by coyotes if Solana left them alone. She decided to stay with them as they wandered through the forest, eventually making their way to the plains. Eventually, it had been days since the wolf's attack, and Solana had developed an infection in her leg. She collapsed because of the infection and the exhaustion of wandering, and Yao Yao and Zelda began searching for someone to help. The dogs were spotted by a patrol led by Wink, and with the help of Fonty, they dragged Solana back to camp. Fonty and Solana have since been chatting together in the medicine den, as Fonty felt he had a responsibility to keep Solana company. I'm not sure Solana agrees. Solana is still in the den as of the end of this year, with her condition worsening. Yao Yao and Zelda are our next dogs. Somehow the speed paint for them was lost, so I'll keep it brief. These dogs, as you heard in Solana's story, were dumped by their owners, but they aren't really sure why. Yao Yao and Zelda have been like brothers ever since Zelda's owner brought Yao Yao home. They both guarded their front door with ferocious barks, making sure to tell anyone who crossed their sidewalk that this was their territory. When Yao Yao and Zelda were dumped, Yao Yao broke his jaw as he was thrown. Later, in the days that they were wandering, Zelda caught a cold. Both came in ill with a bigger dog in much worse condition. These dogs are also still in the medicine den. Hopefully they recover swiftly. Next are all the dogs and puppies in the nursery. Heidi, Benny, and Lily were left by their mother near the river in the camp's territory. Their mom, Ripple, was a dog who did not want her freedom to be dampened by puppies. She heard of a pack starting up in the prairie and decided that if she left her puppies in their territory, they would probably be fine. The puppies were discovered by Paulo, who lovingly adopted them as his own, even though he was practically a puppy himself, at only 1.5 years old. These puppies adore their adopted father, constantly pestering and playing with him. Benny is a very creative, adventurous puppy, and Lily is a sweet social dog. Heidi is much more troublesome than her siblings, constantly plotting and executing mischievous plans. These puppies are cared for not only by Paulo, but also by the dame in the nursery right now, Lucy. Lucy was born on a farm to a mother she loved very much, but when Lucy was about 6 months old, she was sold to another farm. The separation from her mother hurt Lucy so much that she became very depressed. The farmer who had bought Lucy was concerned that even though it had been 1 year since he had brought this dog home, she was still reserved and lethargic. In an attempt to lift her spirit, he bought another Kuvas dog named Romney. Though it took a while for Lucy to warm up to him, Lucy eventually fell in love with Romney, and 1 year later, she had his puppies. Lucy's pups, Hal and Fonty, grew and were the light of her life. But when they reached the age of 5 months old, she realized she had to leave before her puppies were taken from her like she was taken from her mother. Together, she and Romney made a plan for her escape, but Romney would not come with her. He believed that if he stayed, the farmer would not search as hard to find Lucy. Lucy fled and met another dog named Crow, who she joined in creating a pack. This year, Lucy has been primarily concerned with watching her pups grow. She had a run-in with humans but was rescued by Link, who she then became good friends with. Later in the year, Lucy revealed she was pregnant again. But she still will not tell anyone who her new puppy's father is, even now that they have been born. She worries that the pack will be upset if they learn that the father is a dog who lives on one of the farms bordering the territory of the pack. She named her puppies 2 little boys and a girl from left to right, Sierra, Rocky, and Canyon. They were born in the last month of the year, so they are still very small. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Please be patient with my skills as I am just learning, and this is fully produced on my 2019 iPad. Feel free to leave your advice in the comments on what I could do better in my next video. I should also say that while I refer to the dogs within the pack as warriors and use clan terminology, this will probably change as I continue to flesh out the pack's world. The next year is currently in the works, but I don't see it being around until Christmas. Thank you again for watching, and have a good night!